Good morning. It is Saturday, July 6th, 6:34 a.m. We are heading out of Hazen Camp that you can see in the background behind us. There was a pretty big crowd in there last night. Wasn't totally full, but every bunk was used. Could have fit a couple more people if we'd had to. Glad we didn't have to. And heading on to Tillotson, which is 6 miles, and
liquid sunshine.
We have some liquid sunshine today, so I don't know how much footage I will be taking today. Despite the rain and the humidity, it is creating a beautiful scene in the woods. Fog that we're seeing this morning, and probably you'll see most of the day. There might be a break in the rain between 9 and 1. Guess we'll find out. Dry feet aren't necessarily an option today when the trail is turning into a little bit of a stream. I've seen it worse before, 3 years ago, but still gonna get wet today. So one of the hikers we met last night at Hazen's Notch, who is heading north, she's hiking barefoot, and Tupt pointed out there is one of her footprints. I don't know how she does it. Takes all types. Tougher than me. I couldn't imagine hiking barefoot. We have made it down to Route 58, Hazen's Notch. There's a parking area, a couple parking areas over that way. That way you could go down into Montgomery. That way over there goes to Lowell. But we are continuing on the Long Trail, heading southbound. 4.6 miles left to Tillotson Camp, and a climb of 1.8 miles up Haystack Mountain is what awaits us. So the climb up Haystack Mountain is 1.8 miles. We're going to gain 1,427 feet, 1.8 miles. There are definitely steeper sections, but if I remember, the trail is kind of eroded in places, but we'll make the best of it. Not sure the camera does this justice for just how steep this climb is. Top trying to figure out the best way to make it up, because I choose your own adventure. But that's the trail up there. Tupt and I both agree that we'd rather come up this wet, slippery rock than down it. It's hard no matter which direction you're going, but when it's wet like this, I'm actually thankful we're climbing up this mountain right now. So on the Long Trail, there's different kinds of mud. There's wet mud, where you can actually see the water in it. Then there's dry mud, like over there. So I'm going to try to get on that log there and that log there to avoid the wet mud if possible. Keep my feet a little bit drier. These are the white blazes we're used to seeing. On the rock, kind of a smiley face with an arrow.
Isn't that encouraging?
Because you need the encouragement. The steep rocks keep going up, 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 up some more.
We are continuing our climb up Haystack, and water is a very precious commodity. Sometimes you wait for designated spots, and sometimes you go with what you got. We both noticed that since today is humid, we've been going through more than we usually do, so we've taken a little break to rehydrate here and fill our water bottles. We've also been talking about how sometimes the trail tends to provide. We were looking for a scoop or thinking we were going to need to stop at a store to buy another bottle to add to the collection. And we just happened to find an empty bottle at the bottom of the parking lot that somebody else had dropped. And so we gave that a rinse out, and that's come in for just the tool we needed. Definitely grateful for everything that we've got.
This is a trail that we're continuing up Haystack Mountain. Tupt is coming up the Billy Goat path. There's been areas where we've just had to put our trekking poles down and go on hands and knees. Talked about silk blazing yesterday. Here's an example right across the trail. But this one's high enough that I'm going to be able to, Tupt was able to go right under it, and I'm going to duck under it. Tupt and I have decided that these mud pits are like escape rooms. You have to solve the puzzle to keep your shoes from getting sucked down into the mud. She's pretty good at the puzzle game. I'm not so much. So this is our third time hiking a Long Trail, and the first time that we've ever decided to go to the summit of Haystack Mountain. We're not actually at the summit yet, and I'm not sure if there's going to be a view from the summit, because I've heard there isn't, but just below the summit there is definitely a very nice view. It was worth the little side quest. Tupt said, "Third time's the charm." She's right. We are on the summit of Haystack Mountain. We took the 2/10 of a mile side quest out. Glad we did. We are getting to see views that we had never seen before because we had yet to come out here. So sometimes going slow has its benefits. Well, we decided to take our lunch break at the junction to the summit of Haystack Mountain. So we've got 2.6 miles, I believe it is, to Tillotson Camp. And trail is noted for being in kind of rough condition through this next section, so I guess we'll find out. I just fell down those rocks that Tupt is wisely coming down backwards. Didn't feel good. Thankfully, no injuries. Nice beaver pond just off the trail. Continuing to make our way up Tillotson Mountain towards Tillotson Camp. So this is a rock that we have to, rock face we have to go up. Tupt has just made her way up there.
Hands and knees, people.
This is going up Belvedere Mountain. Or no, sorry, Tillotson Mountain. Just made it over the summit of Tillotson Peak, and just south of it, very nice view. We are finally making it to Tillotson Camp, and if there's nobody there, we'll show you what the campsite looks like. We have finally made it to Tillotson Camp. We're the first two people here. I opened up all the windows and doors. There's a bear box right over there. Water source isn't very far away. And we have completed Division 12 of the Long Trail. Woo! So we thought tonight we would show you how we make dinner. So we use this little container, which is it's insulation material, and inside that we have a Ziploc container. So it saves on fuel on the stove. So basically all we're doing is boiling water to cook ramen noodles to make ramen bombs. So I put the noodles in here, add the water, and then I cover it up, and then rather than boiling it in a pot on the stove, I let it sit for about twice the length of time that we would for regularly cooking ramen noodles. And then tonight's dinner is ramen bombs, which a lot of backpackers like to eat. It's ramen noodles mixed with mashed potatoes. Our secret ingredients, which aren't so secret, is Cabot Vermont sharp cheddar cheese, extra sharp, and bacon bits. So we add all that in so you get some cheesy goodness. It looks like that. Now, if I was at home, I'd be like, ugh, why am I eating that? But out on trail, this is very delicious. Day 4 recap from Tillotson Camp. We hiked 6.1 miles from Hazen Camp today, and up over Haystack Mountain, which was a long, grueling climb, really tough conditions. Very thankful it didn't rain during the day while we were hiking, but it rained last night, and so the rocks were really wet and slippery. Got over that, and actually for the first time we went to the summit. As you'd see earlier in the video, we went to the summit of Haystack, and it was beautiful. It was definitely worth the walk out there. Even if I tried...
0.4.
Yep. Even if I tried to take a flying leap down when we were on our way back. So yeah, I fell a couple times today. Thankfully nothing injured. Scraped my arm a little bit, but nothing worse than that.
So my personal goal for this trip is to walk the whole thing myself, not have somebody have to carry me out. I have revised that today and decided that both of us need to be able to walk out on our own accord.
Yeah, that's a good plan. And the last climb up Tillotson Peak was really sketchy. It was, I wish there was some rebar on there because that rock face was wet, slippery.
In more than one location.
Yeah, there was one point where I thought I was going to go over backwards because my feet started to slide out from under me. So that was kind of scary. But we made it, and tomorrow on to Spruce Ledge Camp, and we'll bring you the footage tomorrow. Have a good night.
See how the story unfolds.